As the House of the Dragon gears up for the legendary Dance of the Dragons, the Targaryen Civil War that marked the decline of House Targaryen and the dragons, two prominent dragons, Vermithor and Vhagar, find themselves on opposing sides. The burning question arises: who wins this fight? This could be the deciding factor that determines which dragon we could see perish next season. So let's get into it. While she may not be the largest of her kind, Vhagar still holds a significant place in the history of Westeros, as the last surviving member of the original trio of dragons that conquered the land. As a dragon ridden by Queen Visenya Targaryen during Aegon's conquest, Vhagar was also the largest female dragon to have ever lived. According to Tyrion Lannister, the dragon was such immense size that she could fit a horse in her jaws, and her scorching breath capable of melting a knight's armor and cooking him inside. By the time of the Dance of the Dragons, Vhagar had become a battle-hardened survivor, having fought in hundreds of battles. She had grown nearly as colossal as Balerion, and stood as the oldest and largest dragon in Westeros. In terms of both size and ferocity, there was simply no other dragon that could rival her. In House of the Dragon, Vhagar reaches the pinnacle of her size and power, having lived for approximately 180 years. This grants her a tremendous advantage in battles, surpassing most other dragons in sheer might. Her formidable size and extensive combat experience led her to triumph over numerous adversaries during the Dance of the Dragons. However, the trade-off for her advanced age and colossal stature is a reduction in speed and agility, which ultimately proves fatal in her encounter with Caraxes during the Battle of God's Eye. Vermithor is the legendary dragon of the Targaryen dynasty, and the trust steed of Prince Jaehaerys. As the Targaryen prince grew, so did his dragon. Vermithor quickly outgrew dragons such as Dreamfire, who was much older than him, and by the time the rebellion erupted against the tyrant King Maegor the Cruel, Vermithor already loomed as the third largest dragon in existence, second to Vhagar and third only to Balerion. But the dragon's growth knew no limits, and as the Dance of the Dragons unfurled, Vermithor's power surged to unfathomable heights. Bound by loyalty to King Jaehaerys, Vermithor soared alongside Silverwing, the dragon of Queen Alysanne. After the passing of the king, Vermithor resided in Dragonstone's Dragon Pit, untamed and riderless. This was either because no one wanted to claim the late king's dragon as their own, or the fact that Vermithor didn't accept any other riders beside Jaehaerys. Whatever the case, destiny would call upon Vermithor once more during the tumultuous Dance of the Dragons. It was then that Hugh Hammer, a mysterious bastard, dared to claim the dragon's reins and driving it once again into battle. Yet, as fate would have it, the dragon's fiery journey met a cataclysmic end. Locked in a tumultuous clash with Sea Smoke and Tessarion, the Dance of the Dragons eventually culminated with the demise of all three. But Vermithor, even in its final moments, displayed strength by tearing the head from Sea Smoke's body. The battle took its toll on Vermithor, whose wings now lay in tatters, rendering him unable to bear the weight of his own body, and he fell to his death. But given that he was outnumbered, he did put up a strong fight. In fact, according to Lord Blackwood, Sea Smoke was no match for Vermithor, and he would have torn Sea Smoke into pieces if Tessarion had entered the fight. I think this would be pretty close. Vhagar is much bigger, but she is well past her prime. To put it into perspective, Balerion was around 200 years old when he died of old age. He couldn't fly from King's Landing to Dragonstone by the time of his death. Vhagar is 180, making her a senior citizen in the Dragons Department. While she might be slow, hard to control at times, she is still very powerful with a lot of battle experience. Vermithor is almost 100 years old, and almost the same size as Vhagar, not to mention the fact that he is in his prime. While he has seen less action than Vhagar, he is still very battle-hardened. In terms of combat experience, both are almost at an equal footing. Vermithor is nicknamed Bronze Fury for his abilities in combat, and according to the books, his breath is powerful enough to melt stone. He doesn't have any of Vhagar's age-related issues, and is the only dragon closest to her in size. I think they would kill one another, like Caraxes and Vhagar. That good fight was mostly unique because of the massive speed difference. Vermithor is close in size, so that doesn't exist. Vhagar definitely has the greater advantage here, as she also has tougher scales and is more resistant to both bites and fire. Vermithor's smaller size doesn't make it any less daunting given the ferocity, even if Vhagar has seen more battles and has a powerful killing jaw. Unless one dragon has a clear advantage, it is death for both. I think it would come down to the skills of the riders. For example, if it was Jaehaerys on Vermithor and Aemon on Vhagar, then it would be an easy win for Vermithor. It would, however, be a much tougher fight if Visenya was the one riding Vhagar. But in almost all these cases, we can see it would be Vermithor that would take the upper hand. So, the winner has to be Vermithor. But yeah, that's just our take. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. And while you're down there, consider subscribing for more content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.